A very good morning to you, dear students, to your geography class. Today's lesson is chapter 9, Agriculture, part 1. By looking at this picture at the back, you'll observe a lot of things. You'll see people working, they're doing agricultural work, right? In the fields. And they are working on segmented portions of the field. They divided the field into many parts, and each one is taking care of their section. Also, in this lesson, you will also learn about a lot of other information on other types of agriculture. Till now, you have learned only one type of agriculture, which is in the fields. But there are other types of agriculture too. For example, this is called poultry farming. You see all the chicken in this place, and they are laying the eggs. So this is called as poultry farming. Then there's one farming called as fish farming, where they rear the fish and they make hybrid fish, different kinds of fish. Then another kind of farming is called animal husbandry. Here you can see the girl, she's feeding the cows. So animal husbandry. Also there is beekeeping farming, and you'll see other farmings also in this chapter. So let's go ahead. First we will do an activity called picture talk. You observe there are 4 pictures here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? What do you see in these pictures, children? Can you tell me what you see in these pictures? I want you to write it down in the comments. And what are the people doing over here? What are the people doing over here in these pictures? I want to describe about them. Alright? Let's go ahead. First, let us do the introduction to agriculture. What is agriculture? Do you know what is agriculture? Tell me in your own words. Then I'll play a video for you. You'll get some knowledge about agriculture and different types of agriculture. So watch it carefully.
I looked up the word agriculture in the dictionary for first and second graders. The definition it gave was farming. So I looked up the word farming, and it gave me the definition of farming as agriculture. But agriculture is much more than farming, so let's investigate further. I found a definition of agriculture that I like best. I found it in the textbook titled Exploring Agri-Science by Ray Heron. That is a textbook designed for middle school students. Dr. Heron defines agriculture as the industry engaged in the production of plants and animals for food, feed, and fiber, the provision of agricultural supplies and services, and the processing, marketing, and distribution of agricultural products. Let's take a deeper look at what those words mean.
Agriculture is the industry, is how our definition starts. Industry is the production of goods or related services, but is it also a way of life? Many people like to think of farming and ranching as a way of life, but then so is working in a factory or operating a grocery store. So let's focus on the idea that agriculture is an industry, and we can talk about a way of life in another lesson.
Agriculture is engaged in the production of plants and animals. Notice it doesn't say the production of wheat or corn, or the production of pigs or rabbits. We keep it basic with the production of plants and animals.
Agriculture is for food. Food is for people. Agriculture is also for feed. Feed is for livestock and pets, and sometimes for our wild animal friends in nature.
Agriculture is for fiber. Fiber is for clothing and shelter. Right now I am wearing a shirt made with 100% cotton, pants made with 100% wool. I live in a home made with the lumber from trees. Cotton, wool, and lumber are forms of fiber.
Agriculture includes the provision of agricultural supplies to farmers, ranchers, fishermen, and consumers for the purpose of producing and taking care of livestock and crops. It includes seeds, feed, pesticides, fertilizers, tools, pharmaceuticals, and the straw hats to keep the head cool. Walk through the aisles of a large farm supply store to see the variety of different items needed to provide for producers and consumers.
Agriculture includes the provision of services such as provided by a veterinarian, financial services of a bank, risk management services provided by insurance, education services provided by university extension, legal services provided by an agricultural attorney, and labor services provided by seasonal workers.
Processing agricultural products includes activities such as processing oats from the field into oatmeal, cotton into a dress shirt, hides into leather, hogs into bacon, and tomatoes into pizza sauce.
The marketing of agricultural products includes those activities for the selling of products from the producer to the end user. We include activities such as advertising, sales, merchandising, and pricing. Many of our commodity items are priced by institutions such as the Chicago Board of Trade and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange.
The distribution of agricultural products includes activities such as the movement of products from the producer to a processor, then to a retailer, and eventually to the end user.
We've put our definition back together, and we have agriculture as the industry engaged in the production of plants and animals for food, feed, and fiber, the provision of agricultural supplies and services, and the processing, marketing, and distribution of agricultural products.
Let's try a few quiz questions.
True or false? The definition of agriculture is farming.
If you chose false, you are correct. Remember, agriculture is much more than farming. Let's try another.
True or false? Agriculture is an industry and a way of life.
True, agriculture is a business and also a way of life.
Once again, agriculture as the industry engaged in the production of plants and animals for food, feed, and fiber, the provision of agricultural supplies and services, and the processing, marketing, and distribution of agricultural products.
So children, you have learned about what is agriculture. Now we'll go to explanation part 1 of this lesson. What are the points you will be learning in this part 1? First, you will be learning about introduction to agriculture, animal husbandry, dairy farming, sheep and goat rearing, poultry, beekeeping, pisciculture, also known as fish farming, sericulture, nursery, and greenhouse. All this you will be learning in this part 1. It's very interesting. You'll like it a lot. So watch closely.
Standard 7th, Subject Geography, Chapter 9. Let's learn about agriculture. In this picture, we see a standing crop, a plowshare, etc. From this, it becomes obvious that this is a farmer's house. A farmer keeps hens, sheep, goats, and cattle. They are also seen in the picture. He gets milk, eggs, etc. from them. He sells hens, goats to earn money. He does all this for his subsistence, that is, for his existence. All these occupations depend on natural factors. All these fall under agriculture. These occupations are supplementary to the cultivation of crops. Supplementary means to support, for extra support. Agriculture has a wide scope. For our basic needs of food and clothing, we make use of plants and animals. Besides the cultivation of different crops, rearing cattle, sheep and goats, maintaining poultry farms, keeping bees, which is also called beekeeping, sericulture means silk farming, is the cultivation of silkworm to produce silk. Horticulture is agriculture of plants for food materials, comfort and beauty for decoration, etc. Orchardry, pisciculture, that is fish farming, pig farming, emu farming, etc. are included in agriculture. In agricultural occupation, resources like manpower, animals, implements, etc. are used. Advanced technology is employed. In agriculture, cultivation of crops is considered to be the main and most important occupation. In modern technology, you can see the second picture here, drones to modify Indian agriculture industry. So like this, there has been an advancement in technology in the field of agriculture. In this picture, we see the changes in agricultural practices. In the past, primitive man had to wander in forest to sustain himself on the collected forest produce. Later, he learned the art of cultivation and started getting greater production from the land. Through this, he could provide for the whole year's need for food grains. He also started obtaining a number of products through floriculture. Floriculture means flower farming. Horticulture, rearing animals, pisciculture, etc. Abandoning nomadic life, he undertook different occupations related to agriculture at the same place. Now let us get introduced to the different occupations that come under the scope of agriculture. We use the products of these occupations in our everyday life. These traditional occupations are allied activities in agriculture. Allied activities means closely connected to agriculture. Let's begin with animal husbandry. Rearing different animals and obtaining various products from them for subsistence is the core of animal husbandry. Means raising the animals and getting valuable products from them of variety is the core, means central part of animal husbandry. Let's begin animal husbandry with dairy farming. Cows, oxen, buffaloes, etc. are reared on for agriculture related work. Rearing milch animals and animals which can be employed in farming is also an occupation. It is considered to be an inseparable part of mixed farming. It has become quite commercial in recent times. In India, it has started changing recently. Commercial dairy farming is mainly undertaken for meat and milk. Next, we shall learn about sheep and goat rearing. This is also a traditional occupation that is generally carried out in hilly tracts and semi-arid regions with dry climate. Sheep and goats survive on short grasses, shrubs, and acacia which grow in remote hilly rural areas away from urban settlements. In India, it is mainly undertaken for meat. Sheep rearing is carried out to obtain wool. So, in this video, you can see how wool is obtained through sheep rearing. Next, we shall learn about poultry. Keeping hens and other fowl is a common practice in all parts of the world. It is a traditional occupation. Today, it is carried out as a household occupation and also on a commercial basis. Running a poultry on a commercial basis requires a lot of care. For this, scientific methods are employed. In India, this occupation is generally located in the areas close to big cities as they provide a ready market for this occupation. In some areas, rabbit, pig, and emu rearing is also undertaken. Next, we shall learn about beekeeping. This occupation is undertaken to obtain honey and wax. Bees, in order to collect honey, hover around the plants that bear flowers. This promotes the process of pollination. As a result, the trees bear large number of fruits and the crops yield increase. Beekeeping is an important occupation with respect to agriculture. Next, we shall learn about pisciculture, which is also called as fish farming. Farm ponds are dug out for this purpose. Water is stored in such ponds. Fish seeds are released in the ponds. For this, seeds of freshwater species are used. In order to achieve the best growth of fish, scientific methods are employed. Fishing in open seas has a number of risks. Different types of fish and other aquatic organisms get caught in the fishing nets. Separating them becomes a major task. All organisms do not fetch the same price. So, all these factors lead to the rearing of specific type of fish species separately. Pisciculture developed out of these efforts. Vam, Roha, Ravas, which is also called Indian salmon, Columbi, that is prawns, etc., are reared in fish farms. So that's all about pisciculture. Now let's learn about sericulture. Silk thread is obtained from the cocoon of the silk moth. These threads are very fine and strong, and from these one can weave soft silk cloth. Getting silk thread from cocoons and manufacturing silk cloth are independent occupations. Next, we shall learn about nursery. In the last few years, the area under floriculture, cultivation of medicinal and aromatic plants, and horticulture has increased. These plantations require a high standard of seedling, cutting, bulbs, and seeds. This has led to the development of nurseries. Nurseries give good returns. Next, greenhouse farming. Greenhouse farming facilitates getting maximum product from the land. It can have a total control on natural factors like climate, heat, atmospheric moisture, as well as soil moisture. It assists in getting maximum economic benefits. Greenhouse farming is highly specialized type of farming of the modern era. For erecting a greenhouse, galvanized pipes and plastic sheets are used. Its main aim is to control the pest attack by controlling water, light, and temperature. Greenhouses are used on larger scales for growing flowers like lily and gerbera to give maximum economic returns.